girl be? Her eyes are open wide, and yet she's in a daydream that's better than real life. She knows a secret country where the grown-ups never go. Why, she's Alice, Alice in Wonderland. Alice, Alice in Wonderland. Curious friends and happy adventures too. Ooh, yes, she's Alice, Alice in Wonderland. Alice, Alice in Wonderland. Alice, wait for us, we'll come too.
My bed's made and my room's tidy. Please, may I go outside and play now, Mummy?
Of course, my darling, but please come inside if it starts to rain. I don't want you to catch cold.
Huh? What rain? The sun's shining. There isn't a cloud in the sky. Where did you get the crazy notion that it's going to rain?
I don't send you to school to learn expressions like that, Alice, and I don't like hearing them in this house. You know how we can tell if it'll rain or not? We look at the barometer with the two figurines.
How can you tell the weather by looking at something so ugly?
Aunt Mabel gave it to us as a present. It's very practical. If the little woman comes out of the house, the sun's shining. But if she goes back inside and the little man comes out, it means it'll rain. This morning they couldn't make up their minds. First she came out, then he did. In the end, they both stayed inside. Now you've seen it with your own eyes. Do you believe it'll rain later?
Benny Bunny! Come, Benny Bunny. How can grown-up people use a toy to predict the weather? It's much easier to look at the sky to see if it's sunny or cloudy. Why are they all standing around staring up at the sky?
They're waiting for the flamingos to come back.
What? Flamingos? How can they be so sure that they aren't waiting in vain?
Don't worry, you can rest assured that we know exactly what we're doing.
Do you really?
Flamingos are not just pretty birds, they're also very punctual birds. They return every year to the same place on the same day at the same time. Ah, I don't believe this. They've never been late before today. Never. Something terrible must have happened to delay them.
You're just looking for excuses, you useless timekeeper. It's all your fault. Your watch is fast.
Look, there they are now.
It must be a mistake. These can't be flamingos. Where are the pink feathers? Real flamingos are supposed to be pink.
Nothing's the way it used to be, Alice. Everything's changing nowadays. You can't expect Wonderland to be an exception to the rest of the world.
Please forgive us, Your Majesty, for being late. We couldn't help it. We were slowed down when we ran into a violent snowstorm.
What's that? A snowstorm, did you say? In Wonderland?
You must admit that it's hard to believe you. It's never snowed in Wonderland before.
No, because the Queen has never given her permission for the snow to fall.
Feel the tip of my wing, Your Majesty, if you want to convince yourself.
Oh, but you're freezing cold. And what's your excuse for looking so miserable?
I was hit by a hailstorm. I lost most of my feathers in the storm.
I can see that. There must be an explanation. Card soldier?
Your Majesty?
Run to the Royal Weather House and tell the Weathermakers I want to see them. Hurry up.
I'm afraid that's not possible, Your Majesty. The Weathermakers are away, on holiday.
Oh, that's really unfortunate. I must remember never to grant leave to my employees, but someone must have replaced them. Surely the weather machine's not been left entirely deserted.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum are on summer shift this year, Your Majesty.
I see. Good. Go and tell them that I expect a weather report within the next... Did you say Tweedledee and Tweedledum? Are you sure they're in charge?
That's right.
Now I understand why the weather's been playing crazy games. Tweedledee and Tweedledum must be replaced by an intelligent and responsible person. I wonder who. I'm sure I won't be able to find anyone suitable in Wonderland.
Your Majesty,
I am thinking.
do you think I could do it?
You better stay out of this.
Don't worry, Benny Bunny. I know all about weather machines. We've got one at home.
Very well. I'm appointing you the Royal Weathermaker for the duration of the holidays. Good, there's your first job, Alice. Stop that storm. Can you do it?
Oh, you had to get us involved.
How much further?
Only another couple of hours.
Oh, it's so cold. I hope that there'll be a nice warm fire going when we get there. The heat's just as bad as the cold.
There's the weather house.
Good morning, you two.
What are you doing here, Alice?
The Queen of Hearts sent us. She wants us to take over from you as Weathermakers. She's not at all happy with the way you've been handling the job.
Help yourselves.
All yours. We're happy to resign because we don't like the job.
We do hope you'll enjoy it.
I'm warning you, it's tricky.
Yes, I know.
We wish you luck.
Oh, my goodness. I didn't imagine I'd have to learn to operate such a complicated machine. Have you any idea how it works, Benny Bunny?
You know I'm no good with anything mechanical, and anyway, I hate engines.
Well, one way or the other, we've got to find out how this machine works.
Why? I've got a better idea. Let's run away.
Mm-mm. Oh!
I can't make up my mind whether you're being foolish or brave, Alice. You don't know anything about engines.
You mean I didn't, but I'm learning. Can't be too difficult. Everyone has to start somewhere. No one was born with experience. At least I managed to start the engine. That's something, don't you think, Benny Bunny?
Ah, what a beautiful day today. Simply perfect. I feel like a newborn babe. Ugh, why is it suddenly turning so cold? It's turning into a nightmare. Phew!
You'd better have a look outside, Benny, and check that we're doing the right thing.
I'd be very surprised if you got it right. On the other hand, perhaps you were lucky. You never know with you. Wow! Come here, Alice, and see what you've done. I've got a feeling this isn't the weather you wanted.
Oh dear, I can't blame the weather. This is all my fault.
Yes, it definitely is.
We must work out which part of the machine's responsible for the snow.
Alice? I'd made plans today to celebrate the return of the flamingos, but you've spoiled everything. We can't have the ball anymore because of the snow. I'm terribly upset.
No.
I'll make you pay for this. I've waited a whole year for the flamingo ball. A whole year, and then along comes a silly little... Then along comes a silly little girl like you and spoils it all. Do you know the flamingos are refusing to dance because of you? I've never seen this funny white stuff before, Mama. What is it? What's it called?
It's called snow, sweet boy.
Snow? I think it's wonderful.
Why bother to send him to boarding school if they can't even teach him to recognize snow?
I just had an idea, Your Majesty. Why don't we change the theme of the party and call it a snowball instead?
I've an even better idea. Get rid of the snow right away.
Help me! Jolly lucky getting out of this without a scratch. It's because of this stuff. Soft as cotton wool and as fluffy as whipped cream.
It's not cotton wool, it's something called snow.
You've convinced me. I shall give a snowball this year.
Something's wrong. Look at the smoke. Oh, Benny, I'm in real trouble now. The engine stopped dead and I don't know what to do.
What did you say, Alice?
The engine stopped.
Oh, has it?
Aren't you going to help? Oh. Of course. I'd forgotten you'd never seen snow before. Go and play, Benny.
Benny Bunny!
Yes?
What's taking you so long? We've been waiting for ages.
Coming!
Hurry up, Benny. Hold on tight.
Here we go.
Tell me something, little Bill. Which one of you steering the sledge?
Why Tweedledee and Tweedledum?
No, we're not. We don't know how to drive this thing. We thought you were the one at the wheel.
Honourable judges, this time I promise to break all speed records.
At least Benny Bunny's out there having a good time. I can just imagine him. If only he knew how much I envy him playing in the snow.
Oh, out of the way! Out of the way! Out of the way! Quick, little Bill, tell me how to stop or at least slow down. I'm scared.
Don't ask me, Benny Bunny. I'm like you. I've never skied in my life before. Perhaps we'd better start saying our prayers.
Yeah.
I can now announce the winner of the ice sculpture competition. That is the winner. It's true, it's a little too big and not in very good taste, but you can't fault the originality of the concept. Who is the creator of this?
I am, Mama. Who else?
Really? And what is it supposed to represent?
It's a portrait of you, Mama. I mean, it's not the right size, but it is the right shape.
I see. I'll put you across my knee and give you a good spanking, you little...
No, Mama. No, Mama.
Wait till I catch What on earth is that?
Arrest him, Mama! Cut off their heads! They broke my sculpture, my masterpiece!
Your Majesty, we must talk to you urgently. We bring you bad news.
You're always bringing bad news.
Your Majesty, I'm sorry, but your sister, the Black Queen, is marching into Wonderland with an army of thousands.
What? Hey? I don't believe this. Even if she's mean and ambitious, even if she's always hated me since we were children, she wouldn't do this to me. Don't forget she's my sister. Besides, ages ago we signed an agreement. She wouldn't attack me unless it snowed in summer.
But that's exactly the point, Your Majesty. It is summer and it did snow, and now she's attacking.
Oh! My sister, the Black Queen, is invading Wonderland. Get up! Find shelter! Save yourselves!
At long last, I can punish her for being prettier than I am.
What are you so excited about?
The Black Queen and her soldiers are marching into Wonderland.
The Black Queen?
Don't you understand? Wonderland's a terrible danger. The Black Queen wants to overthrow her sister and seize the throne.
I can't hear a word you're saying. There's too much noise.
I said the Black Queen is coming.
How nice. Say hello to her for me, won't you?
Send a message to my sister that we shall attack in an hour.
As you wish, Your Majesty. Soldier, send the message.
Oh, no. As usual, I've got to do everything myself. Hello, sister dear. Hello, can you hear me?
It's your sister calling, dearest. I wonder what she wants from us.
Don't worry, we'll soon find out. Don't think you can pull the wool over my eyes just by calling me sister dear. I know you're up to no good in Wonderland. I know what you're like.
And why shouldn't you know what I'm like, sister dear? After all, we grew up together, didn't we? I miss the lovely fights we used to have. That's why I'm making war on you now.
On what grounds, sister? You've never liked Wonderland. You've never even wanted to visit me here.
Well, am I not visiting you now, sister dear? When I woke up this morning, I had this irresistible desire to have a fight with you. I'm sure it's this weather. When it's as hot as this, I don't feel well. It puts me in a terrible mood.
How can you say it's hot with all this snow?
Snow? And what about this wind? It's unbearably hot. So hot, in fact, that I'm starting to lose interest in making war on you.
Yes, you're right. It's really hot now. Even the snow's melted away.
It's Alice. She's done it. She's actually managed to fix the weather machine.
Hold on to your crown, dearest.
At last, Alice is doing something right.
We're in great danger. The wind's getting stronger.
I wouldn't have noticed without you. Thanks very much. It isn't fair. You can't expect me to fight a war in this kind of weather. Everyone seek shelter. Be good boys, my soldiers. Go back to the castle, light a good fire, make yourselves a nice cup of tea. Boo-boo, take me home.
I found out how it works, Benny Bunny. With this lever, you can control the clouds. You can even choose the thickness and color you want. White, gray, or black. What do you think of that? Do you see these knobs? When you turn them, you can change the direction of the wind. North to south, east to west, or the other way. You can also decide how strong you want it to be. A gentle wind, or a stronger wind, or a stormy wind. This big wheel controls the rain. I've got to admit I haven't figured out how it works yet. I've just chosen any old setting for my first tryout. I hope it's the right one. So you see, it's really easy as pie. You just have to learn how to set the machine, and you can have any type of weather you want. Oh, Benny Bunny! Oh, are you ill?
Thank you, Alice.
Yes, thank you. You've saved Wonderland from my sister. The silly woman has packed up and gone home.
I'm so glad.
Would you mind explaining to me exactly how you managed it? I'm burning with curiosity to learn the secret.
It's no secret, Your Majesty, just technical know-how.
Alice, would you be able to make a warm and gentle spring wind if I asked you?
I'll ask first. Would you like me to make a spring wind, Your Majesty?
Yes, I'd like that very much.
Your Majesty, these levers are most important. You can change the thickness of the clouds with them.
Don't you dare touch them.
So you're back?
Yes. I knew it. Yes, just as I thought. It's set for rain clouds. And what's worse, the wind knobs are set for north wind.
I hope you enjoyed your long holiday.
Unfortunately, we had terrible weather. It rained from morning till night. We couldn't even leave the hotel.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Why are you sorry, Alice? What have you done?
Nothing, Mummy. I was just talking to the weather woman. Do you know I managed to ruin their entire holiday?
Oh, Alice, you really must stop this daydreaming, my child. Let me see your face. Goodness, did you fall?
No.
Were you playing downstairs in the coal cellar? Let's go to the bathroom and wash it off.
What makes you think I was in the coal cellar? I haven't been playing with coal,
All
Mummy.
right, dear.
The engine of the weather machine broke down, so I had to help repair it.
Yes, I understand. Wash your face now.
It's engine grease, Mummy. Do you think it'll wash off with soap?
Yes, dear.
In our next story, Alice dreams about a faraway country, Australia. Celia has to do a school project on Australia, and she tells Alice all about kangaroos, koala bears, and duck-billed platypuses. Alice would love to go there, so she dreams herself into Wonderland and begs the Queen of Hearts to help her to get there. However, as soon as she and Benny Bunny set foot on Australian soil, they realized that everything's very different from what they had imagined in their dreams. Oh yes, they do meet the strangest animals, and everyone is very friendly. But where are the kangaroos? The very reason for which Alice and Benny Bunny had travelled all that way. Alice is very disappointed, but she wouldn't be Alice if she gave up so easily, so do join us next time to find out what happens.
That girl be? Her eyes are open wide, and yet she's in a daydream that's better than real